A construction site is a place where hazards cannot be completely eliminated. Materials or equipment used for building infrastructure is one of the common causes of hazards on a construction site. Lead has been commonly used for many industrial and commercial purposes. Why? Because it is widely available, easy to remove, and easy to work with. It is essential, but lead is very toxic to the human body, to the point that too much exposure causes damage to the kidneys, nervous system, blood, and it is suspected of causing cancer. The required OSHA permissible exposure limit for lead is no greater than 50 micrograms per cubic meter, average over 8 hours. PEL is equal to 400 per hours worked. The PEL is reduced for shifts longer than 8 hours by the equation. Lead can often be found in batteries, cable and wiring casing, cast iron pipes, gaskets and connections, paint and surface coatings, radiation shielding, bricks or sheeting, and structural steel primer. These are some of the activities where lead exposure can occur. Disturbing paint on structures, demolition, removing or encapsulating materials containing lead, renovating and installing structures that contain lead, emergency cleanup of lead-contaminated materials, transporting, storing, or disposing of lead-containing materials where construction work is performed, and doing maintenance work involving these activities. The World Health Organization, WHO, identified two primary routes of lead exposure. It is through inhalation because of some activities done on a construction site, such as burning materials containing lead, stripping lead paint, etc. The second route is through ingestion of contaminated food and water. High blood pressure, joint and muscle pain, stomach pain, loss of memory or concentration, anemia, and headache. These are just some of the early signs of too much lead exposure. And to control the exposure from lead, OSHA recommends that workers wear proper personal protective equipment such as gloves, coveralls, safety goggles, and approved respirators. OSHA also insists that employers need to provide their workers with effective lead removal products, such as lead removal wipes and decontamination towels. Keep in mind that hand washing with standard soap and water is not effective on removing lead residue from hands. Employers and employees also must know the importance of proper hygiene. Always wash your hands and face after work and before eating. Make sure not to enter eating areas wearing PPE. Clothes and shoes worn during lead exposure should not be taken home from work. Decontaminate your clothes or PPE properly before using it again. When working outdoors, stand upwind of any plume. Use local exhaust ventilation for enclosed work areas. If it's available and possible, use lead-free materials and chemicals. Use dust collecting equipment and wet methods to decrease dust. Keep an eye out for any symptoms of lead exposure, such as severe abdominal pain, headache, and loss of motor coordination. Immediately inform your employer if you develop signs and symptoms. And employers must conduct health surveillance for their workers. Never underestimate the risks of too much lead exposure.